Good evening, participants. I'm sure all of you are staying at home and keeping safe. Well, today's topic, as all of you are aware of, is Innovating Pedagogy 2021. Now, there are three components to this topic. Let us analyze it before we go ahead. Innovating Pedagogy and 2021. Among the three words, pedagogy is very closely associated with us as teachers. We use pedagogy in our classroom situation to adapt ourselves to the different age groups, learning groups, situations, and the difficulties in the topic to bring about a conceptual change and make it very effective. In other words, we draw from our rich experience in modifying our teaching process and teaching methods to suit the needs of the students and their age group. So pedagogy is a teaching approaches and how they could affect effective learners or bring about expected learning outcomes. That is pedagogy. 2021. Why not 2020? Why not 2019? Why 2021? Well, 2019, 2020, we have gone through a difficult phase of teaching and learning on the online platform. The pandemic came like a storm, and our teachers, though at the beginning were quite taken aback, but then they rose to meet the challenge in terms of going through the initial training sessions as well as learning from each other. There were teachers who explored ways and means to see how the online teaching could be made more effective. So it was a period of exploration, experimentation, discovery in the teaching methodology to see which is best suited or the best learning moments for the children. In the process, we faced a lot of challenges, especially in terms of retaining the attention of the students, in conducting assessments, and so on. So 2019 and 2020 was a experience of the kind that we had never experienced before. So having gone through this experience, we need to explore and bring out all possible learning moments and situations and environments to see that the online teaching and learning in 2021 is far more effective, planned, and we ensure that the learning outcome should be able to meet the learning outcome of an offline classes, which may not be possible fully, but to a great extent we can meet the expectation during this 2021 if we plan our online teaching forms and methods. And so let us explore this topic deeply. As you can see, Innovating Pedagogy 2021. Any inputs from
So
participants?
we need to be more innovative to make them like feel like they should sit for their studies. So it is quite a difficult task for even teachers. Everyone feel that. So I think after 2021, the pedagogy like this, there should be a change in this, the innovative methods and
Yes,
technologies.
it's rightly said. I mean, uh, the pedagogy that we had over the years on a normal classroom situation and the pedagogy that is required on an online platform, and having gone through this experience in 2019, the learning gaps of the children, the technological restraint, the gap between the teacher and the student in terms of no physical connectivity, and the involvement of the parents as a stakeholder in our system. And they played a very critical and crucial part because they supported us from home. Even in terms of infrastructure, the children used their own devices, the parents provided them with internet connections. So, having gone through this experience, I think we need to look at the pedagogy for the next session. Uh, I'm sure all of you are more or less have come to a conclusion, or we foresee that the next session would be also an online session going by the spike of COVID 19 cases across the country. It will take some time for it to settle down, more or less at the same time last year, but this time it's much higher scale. So, the after effect of this spike is that normalcy of school or children coming to school is a remote possibility. But one thing we have learned from 2019-20, no, sorry, 2020-21 is that we were able to deliver. The teachers were able to align themselves to the new medium of teaching, and to a great extent through peer learning, through training, through exploration, they were able to make themselves comfortable on this new platform. And there was also a lot of innovations um, in curriculum design or in content design, in presentation. A lot of innovations many of the schools have done. And we had conducted quite a good number of webinars on this, especially on navigation, how to navigate the online resources. So all these have been an attempt by this trust to see how we could support and mentor teachers.
Basically, what will try to do in today's webinar is to explore new forms of teaching, learning, and assessment to support and mentor teachers. This session is part one because there are about 10 points on which we can discuss the Innovating Pedagogy 2021. I'm afraid we may not be able to cover all the 10 points. We may be able to do it in the next part, part two, and if required, in part three. If our interaction and our deliberation becomes more enthusiastic and interesting, and the participants start sharing their good practices with us, and in that case, we may have to prolong this session. But however, we need to explore the new forms of teaching. The forms of teaching that we all are very proud of as teachers over the years is no more applicable, but however, the rich experience, the knowledge, and the pedagogy of teaching that we had practiced over the years would definitely help us in designing these new forms of teaching, learning, and assessment. Assessment has been a great challenge. Many of the schools faced various challenges in conducting the assessment for want of proper software or a proper platform to conduct this the way we used to conduct the examination in an online platform or on the offline platform to say. And we did conduct the assessment on an online platform, but when the students reported to school in the month of January and February to take their pre-board examinations, we found that their performance analysis dipped by 40 to 60%. Means when the students got 90 to 95% in an online examination, they dipped to 65 to 80 in the offline examination. We called them in the month of January and February to enable them to take pen and paper test for pre-board examinations. In other words, assessment has been a great challenge. And I think still we need to find a way out using technological platform. So Innovating Pedagogy 2021, it is basically a pedagogical innovations to be discussed in the webinar are in response to the challenge that so many educators have faced because of the extraordinary COVID 19 pandemic situation and likely to face yet another session 2021-22, and that is the need for innovating pedagogy. As we said, innovation is making changes of the established practices that we have been used to or experienced in the offline classes, in the normal face to face classes. So, innovation has to be brought about on an online platform, introducing new ideas, new methodology of teaching that is best suited and bring about the best learning moments. And that is why we need to have innovating pedagogy. Pedagogy, to a great extent, we still need to explore. But before the new session starts, uh, we could discuss, deliberate, share the good practices among us, and come out with the new forms of teaching, learning, and assessment. Courtesy to the Institution of Educational Technology, the Open University, UK, which had brought out this focused paper on Innovating Pedagogy 2021. Altogether, there are 10 points. Hopefully, we will cover 3 to 4 points this evening. Now, let us examine how we can facilitate the best learning moments on an online platform. As you all aware, our ability to learn is connected to our state of mind. Are our children in the right state of mind while listening to the online teaching and learning? In this context, I would like to say that the best learning moments happens when we facilitate alertness and ready to take on a new activity. Examples of positive mental states in the context of learning are the feelings of curiosity, interest, engagement, happiness, optimism, confidence, and calmness. The best learning moments, also referred to as optimal learning moments, are an emerging topic of current importance for several reasons. One reason is that during these online classes, there are reports of heightened attention and engagement when using some technological enhanced learning application. And these states of mind can contribute to more effective learning. Best learning moments may also be particularly memorable since strong and emotion contribute to the formation of a long-term memories. Best learning moments in the light of technology enhanced learning could be learning activities and technology platforms that can be designed to create opportunities for best learning moments. In this case, a mobile learning system might send a prompt or notification to a learner to alert them to a small amount of learning that they can undertake, such as memorizing vocabulary or memorizing formulas in mathematics. The learner then chooses whether or not to engage, which might depend on whether or not they feel it is the right moment. To engage learners, popular game based, technologically enhanced learning environment use multiple design elements such as avatars and storylines, challenges, rewards, and learning tools such as journals. Successful game types include role playing, fantasy games. Engagement in games is dependent on the design of the game. We have a lot of such game based apps available on the online system or as a resource on the online system, but also on the player's attributes, which include their characteristics and personalities and motivation to play. Immersive experience in virtual environments or when using social media are associated with the freedom to explore, stimulation of the senses, adventure and novelty. There are quite good number of apps and technologically enhanced tools to promote stimulation as we present the digital content on an online classroom.
The first most the software is first most website is Google Classroom. This is the most important tool, so everyone can, it's a Google created a wonderful website for all the teachers and students. You can say this is the topmost website. It is very useful for all teachers and students, Google Classroom. Every teacher, even this is open source website, a free website. Every teacher can create your account using your Gmail ID in this classroom, and you can add, you can take the email, you can give the, just very simple how, if we just go to Google Classroom here or type Google Classroom in the Google, it will take you to the home page. Here very simple, you can create the class. You can create here, plus mark is there,
You can create, it will ask whether to join the class or create the class. Just you can create the class, and just a minute. Yes, so you can name the class and create, and you can give the, so I already created so many classes here. I already created the classes. So if I open this class, here it will show the code. Go to settings here. It will show the class code here. Display class code. You can copy this class code and you can give to the students, so the students can join your classroom. So here, these are the students. See here, all the students are there, and these are the classworks I shared to the students. So see here, not I didn't use this classroom only last year, that is during pandemic. I used to I use this classroom from 2019. Even before pandemic situations also, I used Google Classroom to share my worksheets, to give assessments in the classroom. So this one of the advantage of this Google Classroom is you can integrate this Google Classroom, or you can add this Google Classroom to some of the very important, very main uh, web pages. I will show how can we add, which are the web pages which accept this Google Classroom. I will show all those in the next coming uh, slides. Yes, so this is the one of the main advantage of this Google Classroom. You can chat with the students, or you can give the worksheets to the students. Okay, so that is about the Google Classroom. So the next one is GeoGebra. As you know, everyone, the GeoGebra is the open source website. It is available in the Microsoft Store, even in Google Play Store also it is available. You can download it to your mobile also. Okay, so just type GeoGebra in your Google app. It will take you to the web page. So geogebra.org, www.geogebra.org. This is the uh, website for GeoGebra. And what are the use of this? What are the uses of this GeoGebra? We can show the visual contents on some of the very important related topics to the students, so the students can easily understand without explaining. Instead of explaining the theory concepts, we can explain using visual concepts using GeoGebra. For example, how to show how the volume of a solid depends on the area and height. We can say that volume of any solid is the product of the base into height. So for example, cylinder, the product of the base is pi r square and the height is h, so the product is pi r square h. So how can we show that using GeoGebra? And see, there is in this GeoGebra there is a page called as 3D calculator. Open this 3D calculator. It will show three-dimensional axis, and here you can select any solid. For example, you can select the cylinder here. You can select the cylinder. So it will give us how much radius you want. For example, I need three radius, 3 units of radius. It will give a cylinder. Now using this cylinder, we can show that how the volume depends on the height. See, if you decrease and increase the height, the volume changes. Or if you increase the radius, the volume changes. So like that, the you can show how the volume is depends on the area of the base and the height. And also you can show the nets, means how many faces are there. For example, if I take the cube here, now we can draw the nets to this using this. Select this, see here, It'll give the nets, and we can visually we can show the nets of all this. And if you close these nets, sorry, see, there are 6 phases. This is very useful in the lower classes like grade 7, grade 8. How many phases are there, and how these phases form a cube like this. So if you open this nets, you'll get 6 phases. All 6 phases are square, and if you close this net, you'll get a cube. So this is how the GeoGebra is very useful. You can use the linear equations for quadratic equations. And if you want to use any resources, there are so many resources which are there in this GeoGebra. Just for example, go to classroom resources. Here you can explore so many resources, or you can search like it's Google search engine. In GeoGebra, you can search. For example, I need representation of irrational numbers on number line. We get so many examples for this. So visually you can use these resources to show to the students in the classroom. This is route 1, route 2. If you increase, see here, how to plot route 3, route 4, route 5, route 6, etc. We can show using this GeoGebra. Just you search in the GeoGebra what topic you want. It will show n number of topics. There are so many topics which are created, and it is available for everyone in this GeoGebra. This is one of the beautiful software which are available for mathematics teachers.
We had this presentation in English. Being an English teacher, I can definitely share my experience. We had this presentation on various authors and poets in English, where my students actually took us to the residence of Charles Dickinson. So that was something very interesting. And even for science, we see there are various simulators available, labs available. And as you suggested, sir, explore it. If one thing that I came across for augmented reality is the cardboard box. We have all seen the expensive devices that we get along with the phones for virtual reality, but Google provides something called as a cardboard box. It's not very expensive also, so if you are really keen on it, I think we will be able to see all sorts of 3D images and videos. And all you need to do is go to the three dots, the 9 dots that you have here.
So we always used to talk about enriched experiences or experiential learning. Um, when we talk about experiential learning on a normal situation, we take them to a field trip or experiments in the lab or building a model where children, science projects or um, science exhibition, the children all get together, make a model. All these are enriched experience or experiential learning. Now, again, coming to Innovating Pedagogy 2021, how are we going to do that now? How a field trip to Taj Mahal can be done. I mean, if you explore that, you'll enjoy it as you explore and see the Taj Mahal, walk around the Taj Mahal, get close to it, and see everything around. So a field trip to Taj Mahal is possible in terms of uh, experience, but visual experience, which we call it um, an augmented reality, or it could be a virtual reality.
So I was just saying, I was just going ahead with the Google Street View. As we were, I was just talking that we have certain lower classes and middle school children, when we are talking to them about certain areas or certain monuments and all, if we want to want them to see, and most of them must have not visited, but then we can take them on a virtual tour. So when I say Google Street View of Taj Mahal, it takes me to this. So I can just go for Google's view tracks. Now this basically looks like this. When I, it's more of Google Maps. But I want to take a closer look at the monument. I want to show them about the monument. The road map is also available. Now I want to take a stroll at the Taj Mahal. I want to see it closer view. So what I can do is it shows me this way. So it shows me arrow marks, so I can go to whichever angle I want. I can actually travel like a tourist there. So I can go as close as I want until and unless the photography area is prohibited. If I want to look at things here, I just go around. I can actually go here as well. So it shows me a 360 view of the Taj Mahal. So it's very interesting to see here. Now, for example, if I have to go on top here, I can directly click. So I'm on top. So as I'm seeing here, if I want to look around, we enjoy as physically going there probably may not be possible, and maybe many of our children may have not visited those places. I can take them as a teacher. I can take them on a virtual tour. Children will enjoy going around and seeing it very closely. So you can see here it is all being done. I can, as I mean, I can go around the place as well. So there are arrow marks. So it takes me here. I want to go towards the main arc. I want to go ahead, go walking over here around. Again, I can actually usually tour around the entire. So this is the main entrance where I can see. So this is a main door. I since normally even if you generally go to Taj Mahal, you are not allowed to take photographs inside. So um, I am going around everywhere. So this they actually helps us to children to have a very beautiful look. You can take up any other monuments or anything for that matter, and show them the 360 view
Virtual
of that
reality.
particular.
What we saw in Taj Mahal now was a virtual reality. So the next point in our pedagogical approach is enriched realities. Instead of saying enriched experiences, we have to create enriched realities through technology. And we cannot create, we have to explore and get it. It's available in plenty in the online platform, in the various webs. Um, there is n number of it, and you can even select the best that suits you in terms of your subject, be it English or social science, mathematics. She talked about stimulators. It's very interesting for GeoGebra in mathematics, and in so many ways, these our teachers have exploded. That becomes the pedagogy of 2021. That was more when teachers explored and used it. Now, going by their experience, they have to enrich it now further. You see how it could be very easily brought in into a online classroom. So, use of technology and several types of realities to be blended. Then we can call it enriched realities. It could be augmented reality and a virtual reality can be used. Earlier, the experiential realities were where you see the things through a telescope or a microscope or through lenses. But now you have to scan the QR code and get into all those experiences of reality. QR code was a device that Ranjit Singh, who got the best global award for teacher, he personalized QR code. QR means quick response, means you get a quick response to whatever you want, because now QR code is available in most of the products and devices. So you is using QR codes with smartphones, links, you get informations about the objects, about the location. So these are a pedagogy that we are looking ahead. And I think millions of people across the world, around the world, have been playing with these augmented reality games and uh, Pokemon, that's a very famous. And then, students also, you may not know, but the students are more explorative. They have explored the virtual world, such as Minecraft, you see, and Club Penguins. These are virtual reality products. The exploring Minecraft can be both educational and totally game based. Game based is more addictive, but educational would be improves your critical thinking. And Minecraft indeed is a great asset in terms of promoting thinking skills in the children. So we have this virtual realities, as you have seen, which learners can interact. So this enriched realities, talking about it, can I take a break again and say anybody, because quite obviously you also have some experience with you, would you be able to share on enriched realities? We can also see the 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 Egyptian pyramid going into how everything was done, built in a virtual reality. It can also open up this enriched realities can also open up opportunities that are not available in classroom, such as one she showed was exploring places that would be very pleasant to see, but also exploring places which are difficult and dangerous or impossible to visit for a learner, like the surface of the Mars or the moon or the inside of a volcano. I think uh, all these can be computer generated and typically experienced via earphone and all that, both audio as well as visual. And the most important thing is nowadays the students can interact on a augmented reality and a virtual reality. Students can interact and work together, manipulating these objects. Now, these are virtual things, virtually typically experienced through visual and audio. And it provides, as I said, three-dimensional environment, place where we cannot go through or go visit. So it supports an understanding of concepts, particularly when you're talking teaching geography or maths. It also practical skills when they are interacting with one another, collaborative learning, and performing various tasks.
So sorry to interrupt. This is Roxana from Vidyaniketan Public School. So I just wanted to know how to use these things in the teaching learning process, because it's really fascinating as you're talking about the online tools. But how to use these tools in teaching learning is because we have to first learn how to prepare it. So can you put light more on that?
It's I don't think it requires training as such, because the online platform gives you how to explore. Now, for example, you have seen Khushbu had shown the Google Earth. Now, if you go and log into this in the Google, it itself is giving you a self-directed things to how you can move, what you can do. Similarly, there are many quizzes like Kahoot and so many other assessment apps are also there. Which platform are you using in your school? Is it Google or MS Team or
Yes, sir. Google only, sir.
Google? So Google also has a lot of options in it, but you can also bring in from outside also. And but one thing is you have to go out of your boundary in terms of and the most important thing happens in now in schools is what I have seen is we have a ripple effect, means somebody learns and then he teaches the others, she or he teaches the others. For example, we have a very good maths teacher who has gone to a great extent in exploring how to teach maths with this kind of a virtual and augmented realities, and also using um, the technologically enhanced learning activity. Now he started sharing it with others. Now we have a in that department, most of them have learned how to use it. So you see, we can show you in a webinar also, but then somewhere it is it is so advanced and so uh, vast in its content and availability, you can't specify and go. But some of them you can bring in into your departmental meetings, if it is maths or history or science, and share among yourselves. One thing we can do, since you have raised this question, I think of this, is that whatever topic we have discussed today, we could have a practical way to show how you can navigate. Uh, Today, I discussed about the best moments of learning. Then I discussed about enhanced realities. Um, we talked about augmented reality and virtual reality and all that. And these enriched realities, as well as the technologically enhanced learning activity. And one more I wanted to share, but I will quickly say that that is uh, how to use this chat box. Also, you have a chat box. The chat box also can be very interactive. See, many students don't feel like asking, like unmuting the mic and speaking. And so many a question, there should be a somebody who would read all those messages coming in the chat box or questions that are coming in the chat box and telling the teacher these are the questions which has come, and the teacher explains. It's a very interactive. So we can conduct this kind of a program where how to navigate. This is what your question is: how to navigate and how to get trained. We can only show how it is done.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
We can show you. We have done it, but we can have to give a repeat performance of the same or maybe something new. And one webinar, I will just follow up what we have discussed. So that becomes, that gets reinforced. So other point is what I would say, it's a very interesting word and interesting concept on pedagogy. And that is gratitude as a pedagogy. It's a very interesting term. Gratitude as a pedagogy. Gratitude involves the acknowledgement of what people have done for you, or it's a kind of a conscious action of wanting to give back in some ways. One of our speakers in the beginning, no, one of our participants had said, the students also want to give something. And when you develop the sense of gratitude, when you say, This video was really good and it has been very helpful to me in my teaching. You'll find more students coming forward to give you pre-recorded videos. You see, more number of students are coming forward. The sense of gratitude is so connected in terms of emotion and acknowledgement of something that you are given, something you are given in the class as a task, and you explain them and you give them as a as a flipped experience, or flip it to the students and ask them to make a video or a film script or a comics in English, or as someone said, using some materials at home, some science model, and they share, and you acknowledge that yes, something that I cannot do, you have done it, and immediately you'll find there is floodgates are open and many students coming in with a sense of gratitude. And at this point on an online platform, let me share that let us not talk about our ego, our experience. We are very inexperienced in this online platform. Let us make it a little more collaborative and open-minded in terms of gratitude, showing gratitude to the students for what they have contributed in enabling you to bring about the conceptual change, or enabling you to drive the concept. I think that will work. This is nothing to do with technology. It is a relationship. In the academic context, I would say gratitude can help students to improve student-teacher relationship. That's a very important aspect of this pedagogy, and enhances the learning environment in the class when students are all are involved. And here, this gratitude pedagogy can be used to make the students engaged. Uh, they can be given a task and engage and focus on their studies. It improves a very gratitude, as you know, it improves the well-being of both the students and the teachers. Um,
So, shall I share a small experience of mine with respect to gratitude? I was actually showing a video,
your name?
and sorry, sir.
What's your name?
Sir, Ruxana.
Very nice.
Sir,
Where are you
sir,
from?
sorry, sir.
Where are you from?
Sir, Bangalore only, sir.
Okay.
From Bangalore, Vidyaniketan Public School. When I was showing the video, the audio was not so clear. Immediately, I saw a student sharing the URL, that is the link. Immediately, he shared the link. And he said, ma'am, the students who are not able to hear it clearly can use the link. I was very happy. I said, very thank you. I'm really happy, because which I could not do it because I'm very poor at technological things. Then immediately I also told them, you people can also share if you have good videos. And two to three of them immediately they said, ma'am, we watch these kind of good videos. Can we share it? I said, yes. The next day only I saw 3 to 4 of them sharing beautiful videos and the links. And some of them wanted my mail ID. I just shared my mail ID also. I told them whenever I get time, I will watch it. So next day, my mailbox was full of all these good videos. And I was so happy to get connected with the students with such a small gratitude of appreciating the students. I really, when you were telling, I was really emotionally attached with that point.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
you have really given a real life experience of
Yeah.
gratitude pedagogy. I don't need to talk anything further. And more important, when they do something and give you, it's a deeper learning, deeper understanding, because they get involved in it. So this gratitude learning is a very important aspect, and it's also a part of the pedagogy. Chat box, which is I said is a very important tool. Very often we say chat box is there, we post something in the chat box, but it can be very actively used in the classroom students engagement. call the students so and so. Can you please write? I think many of you may be using that. Uh, I came across another thing, which again, through the research papers of this uh, that I read, using chat bots, ChatBot. Please Google and later on and find out. Using chat bots in learning. Now, this is again a computer program designed to stimulate conversation with the human, and I think it is to a certain extent aligned with artificial intelligence. That's a program it is. So new things are coming and more things will come in future. This chat bots, bot, not box, that is chat box is there where in our zoom here, using this text based or voice based conversational interface. You see, text based or voice based conversational interface to communicate with your students. Chatbots, it's a kind of a program. Again, you'll have to find out the source of it. I just came across this. I'm sharing this thought to you. You can explore it further. Can answer and ask questions. But this is something which I want to share with you as part of the Innovating Pedagogy 2021, that chatbots can guide learners and also assist in problem solving. That means that whatever or when a teacher is not available or cannot help, learners can still be able to make a progress. This is again a technological novel, and increasingly chatbots use artificial intelligence technique to understand the human languages, voices, body languages, and behavior. So it's a very interesting thing. You can also try to see how it can be explored. But this is also one aspect of Innovating Pedagogy 2021. So the time is 7:20. Khushbu, do you want to share anything else in terms of any presentation?
Sure, sir. I would just like to give a brief recap of the availabilities of resources that we have.
Yeah.
So, if you all could just give me a moment. Unfortunately, because of Bangalore rains, my internet is a little slow.
Yeah,
So please bear.
I was afraid if there was a cyclone, I would this program would get affected because basically the internet connection goes off.
Yes, sir. So, as sir has already spoken about so many things, so now we are moving on from a phase of just presentations to various resources. It's upon a teacher how we explore the resources. These are the things that we have already used, but of course, if you have not used it, please make sure that you give some sort of a different experience to your teacher, to your students. You can use PDF editors, whiteboards, immersive readers, audio stories, voiceovers for dramas. You can maybe pick up a drama from YouTube and give your own voiceover so that your students understand how to, go about with the voice modulation and other things. You can end up acting like, being an English teacher, I love to act, and you can play different roles for your students. If it will, of course, um, motivate them as well. You can pick up YouTube videos, convert it into your own presentation. By suppose now I have a presentation here. In the next slide, I also have a video that I had made. So I can incorporate videos and presentations and make a blended presentation for my students. We can have self-created lessons, video lessons, audio stories, and many more. Of course, this is how a PDF editor looks like. All you need to do is click on the draw button. I was teaching in one of the classes, and this is the actual PDF of the lesson. But alongside that, I was able to, underline. I will probably show one sample PDF of grade 10. Of course, we use whiteboards, and there are many other whiteboards that were told in our previous webinars. So you can always go back to Sir's channel and look at the recordings of those webinars if you have missed it. And we can create our own story. Suppose if we give writing tasks to our students, how to take it a notch higher. Our children have written a story, or they have written certain definitions in physics. How to take it a notch higher? We can tell them to create videos on whatever they have written. It is very simple. All we need to do is just explore. There are applications through which the child just needs to enter the story, and the animated video is already created. I am talking this as per my experience. So in English class, we gave the students a chance to write a story, to read the lesson first and develop a story on their own, and further develop a video. It was a group activity, of course, and they came up with brilliant comic strips and animated videos in the same. Of course, this is just a sample. This was a puppetry that we took up. It basically calls for the norms. Once we have time, as Sir suggested, we'll have an exclusive session on this. This is a video where the students created a flip book instead of a comic strip. Here they have created comic strips, and of course, they are designing newsletters. There are many, many video aids and a lot more. So you can also use, for reinforcement of your topic, you can use applications like Kahoot, quizzes, Flipperclip, and Google Translate. Now we have multilingualism policy according to the NEP. You can always, being in Bangalore, I personally don't know the regional language, but if I want to still use it, I can always go to Google Translate or any other application that will help us to translate. And our go-to guide for everything related to CBSE schools in particular is Diksha app. It has a lot of resources, it has training programs. Of course, we also uh, give a lot of uh, way and enhanced trainings on the same. But
But now with the new circular, we would like to see how we could support the teachers um, in trying to understand what is the competency-based questions, how to set such questions, and what is the new pattern scheme of examinations. We'll come back to you with a very useful tips, and that is the objective of TD Educational Trust and Charitable Trust in supporting and mentoring teachers. Thank you for being with us.